Hi everybody, it's Michelle. I am a cognitive behavioral therapist and I was a Tucson firefighter for 22 years here in Tucson. We had a big fire on the mountain just right outside my door, but they've got it under control. It looks like they put it out pretty fast. They had really big planes they were flying in through there. I want to talk about a little bit about fire and then more about boundaries and racism. So fire is actually a positive thing. It can be destructive, but it's a tool. And in this case, lightning struck the mountain and it burnt up a bunch of acreage. Well, actually we need that. We need at times for things to deconstruct and then rebuild. So that's the same with the environment. And I believe it's the same with the systems that we're using in our country. Sometimes it's the same with the systems that you're using in your relationships too. Like maybe you've gotten into a system of how you do things, and it's always important to be flexible and adaptable and listen to others and see how it's going for them. You know, what do they like about how things are? What don't they like? And that's where the boundaries come in. So I want you to be hopeful about everything going on. I know it's hard sometimes, it really is, when you see what's going on. But what I think is going to happen is hopefully this time, we keep waiting, but hopefully this time there will be some substantial changes. And I feel confident, a lot more confident now than I did before, because I see all the women that we've put into Congress, all the minorities that are now in more political positions who can represent their communities. So I think it's hard, but we're on a better path, and eventually it's going to work out. But we can never let our guard down. There is always another side out there trying to oppress. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about boundaries. I want to talk about racism. Personally, when we talk about racism, I feel racism, homophobia, xenophobia, sexism, all that should be in the diagnostic manual for a disorder. And it's interesting because I brought this up to a supervisor of mine many years ago because she was discussing, I'm a lesbian. And she was saying, well, we did a big disservice when we took the GLBT population out of the DSM as a disorder. And I was like, because I don't know if you guys know, but in the 70s, being gay made you have a mental disorder, and they still try to say that that's the case. But the way I look at it is, why does it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and it's not something that we learn. I mean, if you ask a heterosexual person, when did they realize they were straight? They're going to look at you very, very confused. When did they make the choice to be straight? It's not a choice for people who are genuinely heterosexual. I think we have a lot of people that are in between. There's the Kinsey scale, and we've got people over here that would never ever hook up with somebody of the same sex, and then over here we've got somebody who would never ever hook up with somebody from the opposite sex. And most of us kind of fall in between with our sexuality, and that's how it's always been. That's how it's been forever. That's how we're designed. So when it comes to racism, to me, it's absolutely a disorder with thinking, because it makes no sense. I mean, it makes no sense for you to assume things and judge things about somebody just because of the color of their skin. So it's a very irrational fear. And I know that there are a lot of good psychologists and other kinds of doctors trying to get this into the DSM, and it's very political, even in the psychology field. So we'll keep trying. So boundaries, that's the other thing. So boundaries, what we're seeing with all this stuff is a lot of people struggling with boundaries. People don't want to wear the masks. I forgot to put mine on, but I'm inside. I wear it all the time. and I wear it when I go out, and I don't know if it's actually gonna, I think it has to protect you a little bit, and it has to protect the other people for sure, but you know, who knows. But it makes everybody, if it makes people feel better, I'm gonna do it. And we're seeing a lot of adversarial reactions to that. We're seeing a lot of people, they don't want to do what someone wants them to do. They're oppositional, you know, they don't want you to tell them what to do. And I would be careful, because some of these people can get crazy violent. You don't want to be ordering them around or telling them what to do. And nobody really likes to be told what to do, you know, unless they've asked you for permission to tell them. So when your partner or your friend or your coworker or your neighbor, if they ask you kindly, you know, make a request of something, you know, why not accommodate that if it's no big deal to you? I think our immediate reaction is to say, you gotta tell me what to do. And we've raised a bunch of people who really have never been familiar with the word no. I mean, they don't know what to do when someone says, no, I don't like that, I don't want you to do that. And the kind thing, in my opinion, the healthy kind thing, is to say, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I will try. And if I do it, please remind me. I went through a phase with some people with the pronouns and stuff, you know, because the young people are coming up with all these new ways to identify themselves, and I support that, you know, I support change, I support all that. But it's hard for us to remember all these things, and it's not like people, you know, are sitting around with no time on their hands, except for now, which might be a good idea, to read books about what's going on with these people, you know. So we're all a lot overwhelmed. It's not like some people are trying to just insult you by not using the right pronoun, but certainly I'm not. And it's, to me, just kinder to remind the person, hey, I like to be called this, or hey, I like to be called that. And if the person, you know, doesn't respond well to it, you're not going to change that. That's having an external locus of control, like needing other people to behave in a certain way so you can feel okay, is an external locus of control. So I want you to work more on your internal locus of control with your boundaries. So the first thing you want to do is try to figure out, okay, if my neighbor's not going to quit, you know, blowing the leaves over the fence, I guess I'm going to spend some time raking, picking them up, you know, trying to find peaceful solutions instead of just aggravating everything back with more aggression. Not that aggression sometimes can't protect you, because there is a time to bring out that warrioress and kick some ass. But that's only if you're really physically threatened by somebody. Anyway, boundaries. Likes and dislikes. Everybody gets to have their own likes and dislikes. Let them have their own likes and dislikes. Don't judge them for their likes or dislikes. Sometimes your partner might like something and you don't like it. Well, guess what? You don't have to like everything the same. Have a separate time where you go enjoy what you enjoy and they go enjoy what they go enjoy. But please try to be kind, and think about people when they say they don't like something. Don't just keep doing it to make them more and more reactive. That's why we have so much heart disease. You know, people like to poke people where their buttons are, and there's a lot of that going on right now, and you know, it's dangerous. I want you guys to stay safe and to try to have a happy life. And it's hard to be happy when your brain's all scrambled up and you're scared or angry and you're in that sympathetic nervous system. So try to respect other people's boundaries the best you can. There's a difference between boundary and control. I kind of explained that. Control is, well, you've got to do it like this. And boundaries are, I'd really prefer it this way. And I'm happy to remind you. Or you just do it yourself, you know? And if you're in a relationship where you find you're overwhelmed and you're doing everything, time to sit down, renegotiate the system. It's not working for you. Too many people don't have those kind of conversations where you actually sit at a table and you're negotiating it out. You know, relationships can be better suited if there's some formal time, just like at work, where you sit down together and you go, okay, here's what's working for me, here's what's not, what can we do about it? Let's negotiate, and let's compromise. And so I hope you guys are all staying safe. Don't feel too bummed out about the fire. We're going to have a lot of new growth coming on the mountain. It's going to be beautiful. It needed to happen. That undergrowth is not good for anything. So the animals will have more food and all of that. And hopefully that's what's going to happen with the situation here. I'm starting to feel more confident and optimistic because of the good leadership I'm seeing coming out of the Congress and other places. So you guys stay safe, and I'll talk to you again soon.